Morning, brother.
What it do? What it do?
Morning.
Meta played with people's feelings yesterday, didn't it?
Yeah, that was funny. That was funny to watch. Funny to watch.
Tesla did too. It gave them hope and then came right back.
Oh my
No,
god.
we still hoping. We still hoping.
Oh, they smoking on a lot of hopium.
Oh yeah, you guys are on the pipe for sure. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's got tension, so the move is coming.
And attention.
That is also true. What's up, buddy?
2 billion into XAI won't be a blink of an eye either.
Yes, I must upgrade my pedophile bot. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
Wild.
Sorry. That was fun for me.
Did you do ETFs already?
I haven't done anything yet. Just hopped on.
He
Okay,
ain't
cool.
even clocked in.
That was funny because I woke up, I was like, where the fuck is Potter? And then you said, good morning.
Yeah, no, I got a fever right now. Like one, I was 100 a second ago. I'm Gucci though. I'm feverish but energized. Probably because I started drinking espresso before I did read my temperature, so simultaneously accelerated but also weakened. It's all right. Be all right. I'll see here.
You should get some blood work because you get sick quite often, man.
It's been, it's just a fever. My daughter had a fever yesterday, and then when she came home, she gave me a big kiss, and she goes, "Oh, yeah, whoops, I have a fever." And I was like, "Yo, what the fuck?" I didn't say that, but no, I mean, I don't get sick. You know what I mean?
He's not wrong. You should get that blood work done because levels are important.
Nah.
No, I have kids too, and I get sick like maybe once, twice a year. You know what I mean? But
I don't get shut down sick,
and
for the most part. Like I don't get like why. The only thing that usually gets me is anything respiratory. If it's respiratory, I'm cooked. But if it's
What's
like
the
kids
humidity
fever,
in your house?
I don't.
45 to 55 is ideal. Anything below, you'll get sick, or like
food
respiratory
poisoning.
issues.
It's definitely higher than that, but blinkers take fevers away. Trust. Okay. Thanks, Doc.
You heard that?
That's Jorge's doctor right there. That's Jorge's
Congrats,
doctor.
Jorge. Pesos have gone up.
You said what?
Peso went up.
Peso?
Yeah, peso to the dollar went up 19%.
Oh shit.
Don't look like it. Should look like it's at 17.
It's because we just keep inflating ours.
That's funny.
It's fucking bad, dude.
What is it?
But the chart says 17.6. That's bad. We need 19 or 20.
Wild random thing. Have you seen that chart where it's the SPY, but not in dollars, but in gold, and technically shows like a crash? Like, what in the actual is any of this legit?
Last time I saw gold rip like that, the market was dumping, but I think there's a divergence between the two that'll eventually correct, and it won't be pretty.
We're going to zero.
Probably. All right. He said, "I got you, brother." After he said, "Take a blinker." That's mad funny. You should change your screen name to Dr. Blinker. That's a good one. All right. All right, so just precursoring this. I'm a little bit under the weather, so I'm good, but probably gonna take it easy, focus on one or two solid setups as per usual. But we'll go ahead and start with the ETFs here this morning. Again, we're on the Red app. SPY is opening up in range, so you guys know the deal unless you're wanting to go down and mark out a lower time frame trade, which I would do. Like, boy, this thing looks like it's about to eat cheeks. Oh my God. But right now you have a overhead of 697.70. So hold on, where is that at? 70. And then you have the overhead previous high of 698. Now I look at this and I think, boy, you better fucking hold on, right? And you can see that this red candle right here pulls those candles in, right? It's like a suction cup pulling those candles back in. And right now we're seeing that candle kind of try to push out. So if it does, obviously you'd be looking at that next new high. Now here's something to look for, because we do have a gap underneath us. And remember, like those gaps, some of those gaps don't necessarily always come back to get filled right away. But this is looking very similar in the sense where this moves up and fails. So something to look for today, if you are watching SPY, is weakness in here. If we see weakness when a new high price is offered and nobody wants it, that's when it will move back down to find the buyers it needs. And that may be when you get that opportunity. But you are trading in range, and I would expect it to not be fun. So good luck. QQQ, this one yesterday, obviously being up at the highs. And if you guys go back a week, where we talked on YouTube about the punch through, right? And the explosive move that would likely happen up into those highs. And what I was looking for when we got there, right? Now, yesterday we saw that big wick pull itself back up, and that could be considered strength of some, kind of. So with that being said, this is kind of fitting that characteristic of being weak as we're moving into new highs. And that, for me, is not super bullish. However, this morning we are wrapped up tightly, right? And some consolidation. The range, similar to SPY. So we are opening up verifiably in range, which is typically the first sign I have of not doing shit with it, right? Or just sitting and waiting for that setup to break. It's operating inside of a channel, so there is a possibility of moving back into or down towards the bottom of that. Again, not me personally, not super interested in taking in-range trades, as they are the higher risk trades. This one does have a gap from yesterday. Looks like the price did close at 633, and you're holding that at the moment. So with the overhead high being 636.75, that's where you can look for the break. But again, you're opening up in a box with the liberty to react accordingly. So all right, now IWM, which I know a lot of you guys are going to be watching with me today. Yesterday took a spill right towards that downside, and I don't think that today's candle is necessarily screaming anything deadly if you are looking up, but is on top of that green candle. And with the empty space up above us, we have to weigh those options, because it is possible that if we do not go for the gap fill, right? And that would be obviously done by finding your overhead resistance, which we found yesterday at that 265. So over 265, you could shoot your shot. Again, it's divergent from the rest of the market. It is operating in a channel. So tread lightly. And right now, trading into structure underneath us just doesn't seem to be playing out. So that mark right there at 262, if we did go for a gap fill and continue off of some sort of weakness overhead, and this channel, again, channels are meant to be broken. They are not the rule of law. Then we would be looking for that 260 target to the downside. Now, there is a setup on IWM, but it is opening up in range, and it could be playing games going into Friday. So we will react to this one. Basically looking above that 265 and obviously outside of 266 to fill up that empty space for a confluential target of 269. Or if we saw that gap fill and no response from the floor, we could look at that 260 price to the downside. Obviously, there's some room for continuation, but one step at a time. Wait, what are we talking about here? Yo, Gator, what's up, homie?
Oh shit.
Yeah, he's lurking. Bro, when are we shorting silver? Can I know why do you want to short silver? Just because it's up high? Let's look at it.
Pretty much.
I mean, I get it, but how many times has that not worked out? And you're going against one of the biggest forces in the market right now, precious metals. So, again, you are choosing the harder job. Does not mean it will be more rewarding. Because essentially you're waiting for whatever catalyst has driven this up to no longer be a factor. Or something even worse to potentially drive this price down. Now, again, all of my trades are not going to be mapped off of some sort of psychological process, but rather, right, what the chart says. And right now there's no shorting until you are back under what you had to break. And even when that occurs, you will still have more and more structure to break. One of the things that makes trading easy is when there is no resistance, and this is resistance. So there is a multiple step program essentially that has to happen, and you don't have to disregard the channel here, I was just drawing, that has to happen in order for this to fall. So with that being said, I will not personally be looking at a short on this thing until, maybe not at all, until we start losing things. And I think even just looking at the lower time frame and having two boxes underneath you, you could use those and use the tops and the bottoms of those boxes to set stop losses. Because right now, that's going to be your most important thing if you're doing it intraday, is that you have a great stop loss. All right.
Might as well do gold while you're at it.
I mean, I get the concept of taking the reversal, right? But when you're going into all-time highs, there's no structure to take a rejection off of, to set a stop loss on. And so that is just risky, obviously. But just because something has ripped high, listen, it's actually really funny. Let me take you guys back. I remember this whole thing, the entire thing. And I can tell you that in these periods, I have heard the most heinous, this company shouldn't exist. This company's gone too high. This isn't the right valuation. I remember, I think it was one of the CEOs, Jensen, had sold a position. Oh my God, it's gonna fucking shut up. It's gone too high. It's going too shut up. The market does not care about what you think is too high. I watched a company that has no perceivable real assets rip from nothing. Oh my God, that's not proper valuation. But I remember hearing that in here. And good luck trying to make that happen until you have something on the chart. Ding, 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 ding. That tells you it's time to go short. So anyway, that's how I feel about that. One of my favorite quotes is the market can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent. Yes. And it's so funny because that quote was only proved more correct with the GameStops people being like, we'll just stay retarded longer than you can stay solvent. And it's like, listen, dude, there's a cap at the tard too. You can only go so far until you lose yourself. So anyway, let's look at
you said that, because GameStop was the first thing that came to my mind when you started talking about that.
Yeah,
They,
yeah.
they thought they were holding diamonds to them.
Oh,
things
listen,
turned
they
to
thought they were
turds.
going to destroy the U.S. economy and short squeeze out institutions that can borrow
Diamond
basically
hand.
infinite amounts of money. And no, they write the
No, they have
rules.
cheat codes.
They literally have cheat codes. Yeah,
When they stop letting you get out your position, them diamonds turn to turds.
there you go. All right, so if you guys have anything that you would like for me to take a look at here this morning, my watch list is slim. My fever internal temperature is high. So I'm hoping to short that. There is a couple of positions that we were looking at yesterday that I'm looking at today to see what they want to do. And one of those is SoFi, which did touch that target I gave you guys at 24.50. And now the goal is to stay below 25.28. Love is also one that yesterday had earnings, and instead of using cost basis to go down into that empty space, shot back up. And this one, if I'm not mistaken, I might be confusing this one with something else. Yes, I am. Never mind. All right, take that back. All right, and then last one. I told you guys yesterday, I just couldn't feasibly. The chart is too bearish. It is too bearish. That bearishness obviously is subject to change if levels are broken, but it is very clearly this 86.36 and 86.70 fucker. Yeah, but 86.10, right? Those levels must be surpassed. At the same time, one could be looking at a potential trade lower if this thing does break below 83.65 to just simply short it to the floor. When it gets to that floor, which I will be watching for today, if it does get there, that would be a possible area to look for a bounce. It is empty space, and there is no box. So it's just a bounce. When you see something like this, typically the first response is going to be a bounce. Unless it's the third time, right? The first time, that's the only target. That's what you take. Yeah, for sure. All right, so let's see here. Apes strong together. Yeah, that troop of apes. They started fighting amongst each other, eating each other. It's pretty gnarly. All right, fast. The upside, 24-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame. I think I called for this yesterday, and looking at what's underneath it. Damn. Jesus. Just lost a part of my brain. I would be looking for a bounce off of $43. $43. I would be looking for that, because what you want to do in order to continue moving up, because you have two triggers directly up above you. And as I go over this charting analysis, new traders get the opportunity to see what I'm looking for, right? Because this is planning for punchbacks. 43, right? If you can't, I mean, there is a level underneath at 42.50, but if this did travel either A or B, it would be these boxes that would serve as catalyst, right, to punch back and to make that new high. And they're pretty solid in structure. Yeah, so that would be the goal here. If you can manage to hold 43.18, then you're looking outside of the box. One of the best places to be is in a box. One of the less or the least favorable places to trade is also in a box. But if you're in a box, the move is likely coming. And so you have the liberty to respond, right? You have the top and the bottom, and you can wait for that break, unless you're not playing it down. So, all right, UNH. Yesterday, I got a bunch of questions on this one, and it looked really good. I think a couple of you guys were trading this one. Now, pre-market movement cannot be factored into, like on UNH, this could very easily reverse. So I can actually help you guys with this trading plan a lot. You have a pretty solid structure underneath you, which I think is clearest here on the 30-minute. You can go ahead and box that out right there. And so UNH is going to need to stay above 294, right? The goal is to obviously move through the median at 295.90 and reach that top at 298.75. There is a retest that could likely occur if you do not have the volume to execute this trade. And it would more than likely look something like this. So even though we have a wide or a decent expansion in price today, you either are retesting if you're bullish, or you might be back here to build to get the volume you need to move higher. Now, one thing I will also just briefly, I'm not going to say it's, again, this is something to look for. Whenever I see a wide fluctuation in price and things like that, right? That immediately tips me off that control somewhere in here is being exhibited, right? And that might mean that we have a channel here. This could be beneficial for us if we're looking to take this one to the upside, because it can help us find confluential targets, such as that 305 and 306, which would be pretty much in perfect confluence with those targets above. When two sets of data collide, we have a higher probability target. So I would be looking at UNH over 299.41 for 305 is psychological, so I'd really be focused on that. But 303 is a floor that would need to be reclaimed. And then obviously 306 would be your next target. That's it. All right, Meta. So obviously if you took this one, now the contracts, again, I couldn't feasibly take this one because of just the cost of the contracts, risk to reward wise. It doesn't give me the edge that I use to trade my strategy, right? You could have taken it because you trade my strategy differently, which is a real thing that people do. This one did, however, hit my target of, I mean, damn, actually, it really did. That was 743. But it does have a little bit, I think. It does not. Your empty space, all empty space on Meta to the upside has been filled. Period, end of story. Now, one thing that we can also take a look at is where we're at, right? This has obviously been a support / resistance for Meta. So this is where we go with the first thing. The first thing you should do every single morning is what is above and what is below. So, I mean, the easy answer is you're above this, right? You're below that. But we can dive in a little bit further on the 4 hour. And we can use that on last night's price action. So already we see a candle close here and a little range there. Okay, that changes on the 15-minute because it was moving quick. So this morning, we're going to want to stay under 718.29. Now, preferably before you get to the bell, you're up here because that could allow for a lower high and a pull back down. But typically, I'm just going to throw this out there, y'all. When a big move like this happens and all the empty space is over, it's done, it's filled, I am out. That's it. The trade's done. You did it. You did it. Yip, yip, hip, hip, hooray. The empty space is filled. But after that, if you decide to hold runners, you are basing your trade off of price's ability to reclaim what it obviously has not been able to. So you have a 745 floor above you. And if you are holding runners, that's what you would need to reclaim. Now, the overhead resistance doesn't offer any empty space whatsoever, right? And it does look like that. So you can try and get it up into that 748 or maybe even 750s. But other than that, your goal is to try to hang on to that floor. So thank you for the reminder. I was trying to decide for continuation. There has been many a trade where I have taken it. It's filled up its empty space. I've already got, all I have is left is runners. And I get out when that empty space is filled and it keeps going. But I cannot, I can't I also sit there and I watch as empty space gets filled and immediate reversals happen off of them. Because the easiest place to trade for me is in those pockets. And so, in order to keep some consistency in my life, I try to remove the risk at least, or my investment when those empty spaces are filled. The only way that I typically hold is because I see more opportunity upwards. A perfect example is actually Meta, because I took it down here. I took it to here. This thing blew past that floor, right? For what we were acknowledging would likely be a punchback. But at that point, all I had was cost basis. All I had was cost basis, but the majority of all of my risk and profit was out. Again, these contracts went from like $65 to like 500, 400, and all the way up to 800. So I got my... I think Meta makes a move to test highs by next month, along with being a undervalued stock. It certainly could, man. My strategy is to trade where they're in pockets of least resistance, and I'm using options, which, of course, when you have these rapid expansions in price, those options go crazy. They triple, double, quadruple their values, and it makes my life easier. So I don't want to hold a asset that is, even if you're in the money, still has a level of decay. I don't want to hold on to that when I've taken advantage of the opportunity. Now, let me say this, because there are many different ways to trade my strategy. Because you could be buying shares and not worrying about any expiration and trading through the empty space and holding for what you believe is possible continuation. You could be buying, there are some people in here who only trade 2 or 3 steps out of the money. They buy the expensive contract, but they buy it with 2 to 3 weeks, no matter what. So they're still, in the game. They're still using my strategy. The way that I trade my strategy specifically is an option. Right? You don't have to be buying weeklies. You could make it a rule for yourself, because you are you, that I'm not buying weeklies anymore. They tear my ass up. I am brand new to this. I have no clue what to do, and I am on a lower budget. How do you start? Go to my YouTube channel. Chris, join the free Discord. You don't need to worry about trying to buy anything from me at all. Especially if you're somebody who does not have capital, and you need to be inside of these live streams, immersing yourself in this environment, asking questions. What the fuck does he mean by that? That's how you're going to get better. But my YouTube has, and by the way, Alex, you can go ahead and, I haven't finished those videos yet. I deleted the one that I made last week because I look like a cornball. Also, I watched my own video back, and I watched myself lose focus and start like veering off on a different subject, and I couldn't stand it. I was like, no. All right. That's silver? What's silver? Boss Potter, I'm not feeling well. Sorry. You're not feeling well either? I got a 101 fever right now, or I think it was 100 actually. I haven't checked it. Keep going from hot to cold right now. I think everybody who starts with my strategy should not be using weeklies. I mean, there's going to be opportunities where maybe IWM offers that, but for the most part, most people should not be holding anything that expires that day, and probably not even that week. Those are handling hot assets takes practice. Callous. So cool those assets down with some expiration, and they're easier to hold. Damn, that was a bar. Damn, write that down. All right. Apple ER is today. You are correct. Now, obviously, seeing what has happened to the other companions, of course, we got to look at both sides of this. The most obvious setup that I see on Apple, and I do not take Apple earnings. They are just oftentimes not great. I mean, sometimes the move even comes after that earnings trade. The last couple of earnings have been, kind of continuations, or just And that one was decent. Yeah, no, you had already ripped into that earnings. This is not that great. That being said, your high of 262 separates you from a pocket of empty space, which would allow for price to retrace to 267 and, of course, 270. So the first initial price target for earnings on Apple could be that 270.60. On the flip side, because you are only hanging on to this floor by a thread, and if that floor is lost, what is underneath you that is not going to hold price up? Empty space. And so there is a punch down. Again, we play this out in our minds. Not a guess. It's if this, then that, right? We're finding that next floor. So if that box breaks, you get that. And that's 240. There's your targets. Fire. Alex, can you give me a hug? I need one so bad. Alex, you have permission to leave your office and go give that man a hug. Make it quick. How far is he from you? JJJ, he's on his way, dude. He's on his way. Hims has 36% short interest. Very good. Shut up, Carlos. What the fuck am I listening to right now? I feel like I'm listening to a robot dying or something. Yo, peep the name of this playlist. Cut all losses. Bars. That's the John F. Kennedy, brother. You guys are ridiculous. All right. Okay. So let's sometimes when I can't seem to grab onto something, I start by just dropping levels. And this will kind of help me find the skeleton, right? If I can't find the meat, I'm going to search for the bones. Never mind. But that being said, you're under this, you're still above this. So there's probably something in the middle. So we go to the 24-hour, and there's our middle, right? And I mean middle. So as we approach, we have 2771. Now, I cannot sign off on any sort of empty space to the upside. It just doesn't exist, right? Not in its full capacity. There is green candles littered everywhere. And so while a short squeeze obviously preferably is done through empty space, every single time it has been done, there has been empty, right? Even here, kind of empty, but not clean. So you can kind of see how that price action represents lack of cleanliness, lack of rippage. So the same thing obviously here. And don't underestimate the ability of an institution to lower short interest. Right? They can, just like they can liquidate buyers, they can liquidate sellers without making price move up. They can wick shit down, pop it back up, and then hold, and everybody loses. So with that being said, if that sort of price action is set to happen, it's going to be done by giving sellers the lows and then reversing it upon them. So $30 being reclaimed would be step one. Gap fill at 31.50, and then you'd have a floor. And there is a little pocket right here that you could possibly get some price into. So it's a little bit risky. Doesn't have empty space. CB. Is this these shorts? I'm scared to look this up. That's an insurance company? Okay. I thought it was those really short shorts that dudes wear. The chubs or something.
Shorts.
They're not even, no, they're just like really I think they're swim trunks. I seen that they tried to advertise them to me one time, and
Speedos?
I saw them, and I was like, I'm not interested in this ad. All I have to say about Chubb is you are stuck in between two boxes. Hold on. Anyway, so 308 is above you, or box below you, and this is where you listen. This is probably like freedom, right? You have the freedom to not feel pressured, not feel like, oh God, it is sitting in between your signals, right? Downside and upside. Now, I don't see anything, unless I'm tripping here. Yeah, I don't see anything above you. So there's your signal up for continuation to the upside. Yep. So you can move down, translate this to a lower time frame. Look for the 305 break. Now, unfortunately, this range, right, reveals the true story here. Box, punch down through that box, new low, punch through that box. Wow, box slaughter. New low again. And so realistically, in order to stay accurate, we got to give it that. Got to, right? Is it still that same top, still this old cost basis and that old resistance? Yeah. So I think it starts by getting above 306. You got a nice little pocket of empty space right here and even up here. So, I mean, there's one last thing I want to do. Not bad. So there you go. Now you know where you can't go. Now you know where you need to go. Low risk, crispy. NVIDIA, I swear to God, Jorge, why? No, I'm just kidding. It does look good up to 96.
NVIDIA.
Obviously held down underneath your 2-hour resistance. I'm not going to the higher time frame here is going to do me no good. None at all, because everything that I need to see is going to be on a lower time frame. The only analysis here is that, which is nothing.
Yeah,
so
that's the only thing I was talking about.
So, here's what I would like to see, and this is how price action, I think, naturally should move. With that wick overhead, you should drive down. When you drive down, you should fill that gap, retest, and climb through the structure that you have here this morning. If you do that, that should be an overhead target at 196, considering it is empty space, but that is a strong resistance up above you. If runners were held, there's a gap at 200, and that's all I could really offer on this one. I think that's good analysis, though, and I do think that's something that you can kind of, wrap your entry around. Let's see. Yeah, so I mean, really, it's that box underneath there. The wicks do go up to the highs, so that would expand the box up to the high. You are retesting, but not fully, so 189, maybe cost basis, and that is a perfect box for you to take as an entry to the upside. So, yeah. Not for me, but maybe for thee. That looks good for some lower time frame day trades. Let's look at the, oh my God. What happened here? Damn. Okay, so you popped up. I mean, you are verifiably in range. You are. You can't hide from me, box. Double bounce right off the box. So where's the first logical level of retest? Right here. And how did you get there? Very fast. So that offers the possibility of a reversal. Okay, most recent price action. That is the bounce. So let's look at the 2-hour. Okay, so that wick lines up with your pre-market high. That's good. Perfect. Okay, so I mean, 110.71. You have an upside trade. I would, because you are heading down, I would make sure that you are aware that there is an imbalance in there, right around 112.65, 113. I'd be honest with you, it'd be kind of nice if you did pop down and you did fill this gap and you did hit that volume and then you use this box like I showed you on the video to take it back up. I always prefer that. I mean, I'd rather punch through a box because when a box has lost its floor and then within minutes it's back on top of it with a big long wick underneath it, oh my god. Ride that wick, baby. Hold on. Don't tell anybody I said that. No, don't pause. Sometimes you just got to let the moment play, you know? I think this generation does too much pausing, you know? Sometimes you just got to fast forward, maybe, if you don't like it. Why would you pause on the worst moment? Fast forward. You know what I'm saying? These kids nowadays, man, they don't know what VCR players are.
They sure don't.
They don't know, man. You think young Stelio or Jorge knows the magic of popping Lion King into the VHS set and then having to rewind it back? Nah.
Wait, Potter, how old are you?
You said what? How old am I?
Yeah,
I'm about to be 34.
34. Okay.
Not a young man
One
anymore. Now this is about the age I start making fun of the youth, right? I thought I got that
Oh, I
memo.
just saw-
So
I just saw a post that said the average age is 77, so midlife is 38. So
He's
welcome
almost
to-
middle age.
yeah.
why'd you gotta
Damn.
read me that? Damn, that's fucked up.
Reality's reality.
It's just
Chart it.
perspective.
You middle-aged man.
Yeah. Time to buy that Corvette, bro.
That's why you're getting sick so easily.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm here. I got a 100-degree fever. I'm here.
Good immune system.
Yeah. Imagine tapping your cassette knee. Imagine tapping your cassette tape on your knee to rewind it. I used to fuck up cassette tapes because never mind. Yeah, you know. 104 is the upside play for MBIS. There is not empty space. And what are we looking to do on this one? So, again, you broke out, you built structure, and then you gapped down and fell underneath it. Now, thankfully, you're finding support, right, in that 93.21. So the trajectory has overhead. Yeah, so it literally is 102 and 103.85, and you should be gap filling. And obviously, that could lead to more. However, we don't really even have a box. Oh, shit. We do have a range, though. That's money. So you could look at 117 maybe on a break. Let me see your chart real quick.
It's on life support.
What is that? Is that a chemical compound? That's definitely a chemical compound. That's like CHOCH.
He got the chart's heartbeat on there.
Yeah. The wick in the bottom. Yeah, it's really hard to chart, dude. I can't, it's not, mobile charting is not easy. Now, when you do start trying these boxes out, or start building them, try it without the indicators or without the moving averages to help clean it up a little bit. And do you have extended hours data? I do not think you do. Make sure. Okay, maybe you do actually. All right. I appreciate you putting your chart there, though. Let's see. You said GC? Dang, bro. You be changing your candle colors, dude? Listen, dude, bring that down. Right there. Why is that there? That's floating in nothingness, and so is that. If anything, that's a separate range, right? And these candles can't cross the 50% mark of it. So you would bring that top down. Candle close, wicks, right? And it's all off that median price. Chart that up for me and then show me what that chart looks like, please. Analysis.
You got homework.
Never kind, never rewind. That's funny. Be kind, rewind. I remember that.
Yeah, that was classic, man. I think it's just crazy. They'll never get to experience the magic of going to the Blockbuster store, looking up the
Oh my
movies, seeing
God.
the new favorites that came out. They had your
Yeah, no
Twizzlers,
shit.
your candy, and
I remember the night
popcorn.
they shut all the blockbusters down.
Yeah, I remember they it was like 2 days after Blockbuster, and then they had turned it into like this auto shop built it, and nobody fucked with the auto shop for like a year because they were so pissed off that Blockbuster was gone.
Like families in America were just excited to go to Blockbuster.
I mean, and your parents
That
really
was
couldn't tell
that was
you
a highlight.
no to like the Skittles, or the gummy bears. Like they're right there, mom and dad. You bought the movie. Can't, you know what I'm saying? Like,
You got popcorn.
come
all
on
that.
now. Yeah. All right.
So you could start ordering those discs from Netflix or Redbox.
Yeah.
I remember that too. Yeah,
Nah, when Blockbuster started letting you rent video games, bro, peak.
it was up.
And then when Netflix started sending them to your house, those were yours. Bro, I put a CD-ROM in one of those Redbox things and sent it back.
He said those are
Sure got
yours.
charged for it.
Oh yeah, my parents. Oh, I knew it was gonna happen, but it was like, well, we already got it now, All right. Anything else? 5 minutes or 14 minutes, or no, less than that. ETN. What else do we got? If you guys have your charts, drop them on here like this. Let me see. Let me
I'm
see.
about to drop some right now and see what you think.
Very good. Yes, that's what you listen. That's listening to the chart. That's saying, right? Because do you not need a candle close outside of that? This
Bro
is a
got the
minor
message.
inconvenience, right? But good job. That's what you want to do. Points of contact across the board. And there's even enough
Very clean.
response, even off of that. Look at that. The candle closes on the floor and just gaps right back up. So that's quick math. All right,
Man,
let's
if
see
there's
here.
anything that I hate in the world, and if I said this a million times, I'll say it again. I hate British rap. Sorry.
Damn.
Oh
Damn.
damn, bro! You don't like
Damn.
UK music?
No, I hate it. That stuff is trash.
Oh man,
Damn.
ban
It's
this
funny for a
guy.
meme, but I hate
Gas
it.
man, we
Execute
gotta
him, Ivy.
you gotta apologize to all the UK members now. That's good.
Yeah, bro.
Nah, dude, I'm not gonna lie. Some of the shit is fucking. That's pretty
How can I be
good.
homophobic? My.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. That's a bar. Hey, that's a bar.
That's just bad funny. All right. So again, IWM, listen, today the setups need to happen. They're not happening. So respond to those setups. You should right now, in this moment, know what you want to trade, right? Or what looks best to you. And you should already have the contracts picked out on where your target should be. Those can be written down. Those could be put on Post-it notes. Those could be put on your fucking forehead or in front of you. But mark what is above, what is below. Same rules every single day. For the ETFs and even for IWM, we are opening up in range. We do have a gap fill, right? We still have 260 potential down there. And then obviously with that gap fill and this being support, we also have the reversal. And this is very much smushed in a range. So tread lightly. These are those days where I watch people push into trades that they have no business being in, and then they're left having to try to figure out what to do with a losing position. Now, that's not applying to every single trade. You might have something off my radar or something we haven't looked at, and it looks great. Take your trade. Boxes, tops and bottoms of boxes are utilized as stop losses. Those are what will be retested So try to centralize your entries and exits around there. It is Thursday, so all contracts that are bought that expire tomorrow are going to be volatile. So start thinking about next week's contracts if you're looking for an extended move. Uh-huh. 9:20. Yeah, we got 10 minutes. I don't know if I want to. Yo, AO asked me yesterday, he goes, "Can I listen to Schoolboy Q?" I was like, "No, no, no." I'm seeing it all over my he's taken over my YouTube, so now I'm like getting all of his music. Which is kind of cool though, because we're sharing music now. He's getting into all the bands that I love. Pretty dope. Is Netflix going to go down more? There's a high probability that there is more downside on this one. This today could be its last chance to show any sort of strength, but every single time it's filled empty space and been given the opportunity to let price move higher, it has rejected. So I had to drop out of this one. I got stuck on this one this week and ended up not really being able to do anything with it. So no continuation. What I do think is happening, if it's not going to bend over because it's already been rejected 3 times off the top, is hopefully some sort of box or build. I think and what I'm saying today is that if it can hold this floor and just build this box and engulf it one more time, all right, maybe. So Potter listens to Japanese rap. I do. Let's just see.
I came across Korean battle rapping the other day.
Oof, that's gotta be fire, dude.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. For being Asian, I was completely lost.
Damn. Kids. Crazy. No Spy? I don't like Spy today, man. Spy looks like shit. I mean, it does have a gap filled down if you're looking for a day trade. I've already discussed that. That one has a gap filled down. I don't know how easy that and straightforward that one is going to be because it is going to be moving through structure. You do have 3 off the bottom right now at 696.22. And then any upside, it will be this. I mean, that's so perfect. The 5-minute setup. It's not that bad, actually, now that I look at it. It was green when I looked at it, but now that it's close, if it does lose this floor, my natural inclination would be to look for 695.50, and of course, the gap fill. Yep. INTC for continuation. Good box. Great box. That's a box, right? That's empty space. Mark those levels out above and below, but yeah, you are correct. Look at how that level holds up. So, yeah, it was a good setup. If it can... now, when I see a box like this, if this pops and gets that floor, I don't mind taking a little floor entry there. But yeah, I mean, this looks good. I will say this though. All right, we got to be real. Is that a new high? Yes. So while this box, it's still going to act the same. So I mean, cost basis, all of these are going to be great stop losses. But I would watch that high just to make sure that your price is moving through there once you do take your entry. But it looks good. Chart looks good too. I keep sweating and then getting cold and then sweating. Oof. Keep sending your charts in like that, guys. That's good. That's not. This is massive, and there is 0 points of contact. So this, throw that in the trash. This, that's pretty good. I'd maybe drop that down a little bit lower to those wicks. And then...
That top one, I think, was on the weekly. It just kind of came through.
Oh, okay. So old box, that box got punched through, right? New low. Pop back up. Fail the cost basis in that new box. That's a new. So you got a box right there. So I would be focusing on the most recent price action on this one. What is this? Bull?
Yeah. I was just charting it just to see. And see how you thought of the chart.
Oof. What time frame was that on?
Yeah, dude, my charts always, I swear, look different.
What?
24?
It's because you're zoomed out. It's the 4 hour.
Oh, that was my 4 hour. Oh yeah, 4 hour. Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, you're getting hot and cold. This just driving me nuts.
Yeah, I hate that shit.
Yeah. Just felt like I was in a furnace there for a second, dude. So I mean, that's about as simple as that chart gets right there. I mean, you can kind of like disregard all of this and just focus on that,
Most recent.
that, yeah, and then there you go. That's all empty right there. So
When something is like IPO'd like this, right? How do you know when something's gonna bounce? Like, where is it? Is it just whatever it makes next? Because it looks like it should have been those wicks, but like it doesn't seem like it's really holding. Yeah.
So I mean, I have no shame in answering. I don't know. I have no
All-time
system.
low.
I don't have any system for that, and I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? I'm perfectly okay with not knowing how low something will go, or how high. I mean, there are opportunities that I've been in where I've been holding something and it's ripped into new highs. That's probably the scariest place I can be because I'm only using the price action that we're building. So, Visa. All right, we got 2 minutes. Visa apparently does, yeah, have earnings. It's got a shit ton of empty space all the way up to 343. So, all right, TikTok, YouTube. Hopefully, you guys can go back and watch this live. And if you need that analysis from any of the tickers that I did this morning, Microsoft still has to go and break the low of 435.98 and get below 430 in order to see a nasty dump. But otherwise, hopefully this live helps. I'll see you guys either in the Discord or I will see you at 2:30 if I don't die. All right, peace out. They thought I was going to forget.